Are you ready?
Take Three Wrestling Podcast. We are live less than a week from saying goodbye to John Cena. We join the Swan Song one final time in 2025. The live show is here. Um, Programming alert. Next Thursday is Christmas.
Yes.
Ain't gonna be.
Yeah. I won't be here.
No, none of us will be. So no show. The following week is New Year's Day. There will be some college football on. I'm gonna probably at least be on the show. I don't know where we stand with the rest of.
3CT is going to be on, so I should be here.
All right, so we'll be back into full send for the first episode of 2026. Final programming note: I want to try to do the takeys by the 15th.
Okay, we can. Yeah,
So
we
let's
can
try
definitely
to pencil that in, because that'll be the week before the Royal Rumble Saudi Arabia.
Oh yes, yeah.
The special 2:00 start time.
That's right. That's right.
That's gonna be real weird.
That's going to be very weird. I kind of like it though.
You know what? I'm actually contemplating taking that day off, and I almost want to do like a live Royal Rumble watch along.
Oh, okay. Yeah, depending what the 3 count crew does.
Just pop on the Twitch channel or something and literally just rapid reaction like while it's going on or something. But we have time to discuss that because that's a month away. Let's wrap up 2025 the only way that we know how, with a whole lot of chaos, probably a whole lot of the views and opinions of Joe Lopez do not respond for Mike, Jim, and the rest of the Take Three Wrestling podcast. Joe will be here in a moment. I'm going to let him know that we are live because he did not know that. I don't want to go too far into the conversation, but we can go into pre-show because wheels on the ground. As you can tell with my John Cena final match T-shirt that I picked up, Washington Capitals theme, an on-site location exclusive. I was fortunate enough to be able to get one for Big Jim in his size. So I flew out early Saturday morning from warm. I'm not going to say sunny because it really wasn't that sunny when we took off, but warm South Florida into not so warm Washington, D.C.
No, not warm.
So got there, got to the room, kind of charged up everything, got myself situated and ready to go. I didn't know that there was a fan fest going on, or I thought the fan fest had already ended and they were kind of like shutting everything down. I was wrong. We had a fan fest still going on with the truck full of merchandise. I was able to pick up a couple shirts. I was able to get a towel, thankfully, there because I went to the Superstore after the show to get Jim's shirt because they only had extra large and double X in the arena. And Jimmy's a big boy.
Big man.
So had to go get him the threer. So I had to go to the John Cena Superstore, but that was actually if you come out of Capital One Arena You come to the metro stop, you make a right. It was less than a quarter of a mile. There was a line there, so it was very easy to see where you were going to. Got through the bag check, walked right over to the section, grabbed it right away. Got out of there. I also purchased the Tampa creamsicle orange shirt. My wife wore that one. She's a big fan of that color. But so I show up for the fan fest. I do the line. It's gonna be hard for me to say this as a Washington Capitals fan. Security at Capital One Arena, not great, Bob.
No.
A lot of people just standing around. As soon as the doors open, just press their way to the front of the line, even though there was a large group of us that were doing the right thing and just kind of waiting off to the side to get in. Also, FanFest issue, no bags for any of the merchandise.
Oh.
So I had to wait. I was holding all of it. I had to wait till I got inside. That's where I bought my Cap shirt. And I stole 2 bags from the really nice lady at the counter. She's like, "You need bags, don't you?" And I'm like, "I would love a bag or 2." She's like,
Yeah, that's brutal,
"Take 'em."
man.
So I was able to get that. Watched the show. Made it out of there a little bit later than most. We'll get to that in a minute. And yeah, so went over to the Superstore, had a lot of really cool stuff. Probably would have been a lot of more of a selection if I had gotten there Friday or Saturday. I know you had texted me and they said if they didn't have the Capital shirt, look for the St. Louis Blues one. There were none of them in any size in blues.
Wow. Okay.
The only other 3X that they had, if I didn't find it, I was going to text you, was that retro San Antonio Spurs.
Right.
The black with like that retro Spur design.
Yeah.
I would have texted you about that one, but that was the only one of the non-DC related shirts that was a 3X that I found.
Gotcha.
So yeah, but I got there. Towels were sold out. Plenty of cups. I was able to snag a couple cups for you guys. Took a couple pictures of the autograph stuff. The Washington Capitals jersey that I sent you the picture of was like 1 out of like 25. They're only doing 25 of them or something.
That's wild.
I also saw you could pre-order a piece of the mat with the Saturday Night's Main Event from it, but I was like, well, it's not really my thing, so I passed on that. But yeah, it was a time. And then I flew back and was on the tarmac for an extra hour and a half because we had to be de-iced twice.
Oh.
Have we Oh, hi, guys.
Oh, hey there.
Hey, Joe.
Have we reached the asking you questions portion of the night? Because I have questions.
I mean, we haven't got there yet. We were waiting for you to get here before we went too long form, so I was just kind of like picking around from certain things that I witnessed and saw and FanFest and all of that.
My major question that I have for you, and you're going to understand why I feel like you are distinctly able to answer it.
It sounds like a loaded question.
No, I swear to God, it's not. I'm being totally not facetious for once. That will involve no penis. So anyway, I've heard people on other podcasts, other shows, talk about the moment when he lost and how it's comparable to them to one other moment. I know you were in the building for that other moment because I was there with you. How did this compare to Undertaker losing to Brock Lesnar?
The silence was palpable, but a lot less silence. Undertaker losing was more of a you didn't really see that one coming. So that one, I feel like it took longer for reality to set in that it actually occurred. John, we knew that was it no matter what. And I feel like and I'm going to say we because I was in attendance, we, the fans, I can speak directly for the guy sitting to my left and a couple of the guys sitting in front of me. When the finishing sequence started, they basically booed almost the entire way through, even after John tapped. The rest of the arena kind of, I think once they saw the camera zoom in on the smirk and the tap, I think there was okay, this is life without John Cena. And then it turned into the booing the result, booing Gunther. A lot of people stood up and started applauding John. The Undertaker shock went for like 3 more matches when we were in New Orleans. Like, I don't think that show ever got back on track from a fan perspective. And maybe it helped that the John Cena match was the main event, because I don't know that show would have gotten back on track if that would have opened the show, which I know we had discussed was in play. If that was the finish, if that would have been it, that show would not have gotten back on track. So I'm not going to say that the Undertaker moment is still probably the number one of like the entire wrestling world just kind of being at a standstill. But I do understand the comparison, and it's not one that I thought of per se in the moment. But now that you brought it up, it did feel it had that vibe,
Right.
but not 100% comparable, because everybody knew that when that bell rang, we were now in life without John Cena.
Right. Gotcha.
Do we have any other random trivia questions or thoughts before we get into the rest of it?
No, I
Yeah,
don't.
no, I can't think of anything. That was kind of the main one I had on my mind because, like I said, I've seen and listened to a number of different places where they've talked about it, like comparing the two. Busted Open was talking about it, and I'm pretty sure I think on one of the Conrad podcasts. I don't remember if I actually listened to those this week, but I just feel like I saw it a couple of different places. Maybe on Reddit, I saw a couple of people comment. So it was intriguing to me, knowing that you're in the building for both. What that feedback was kind of like. Were you surprised by the negative reaction to Triple H?
I think so.
And
Ryan,
was it as loud in person as it came off on TV?
it was
Because that
definitely
shit came off on TV like he was
it,
getting booed out of the building.
it was definitely loud in my section.
Okay.
I had a couple guys that were really drowning out a lot of other audio. There were some like ha 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 ha, like when he smiled and they showed like Triple H laughing when he hugged him. That was the loudest of the boos that I heard.
Okay.
I figured that as much. Yeah.
And that was every part of the arena booing.
Oh wow.
Not me, because I get it. But Ryan on 3CT tonight, because I was listening to that while Carol and my mom were doing some extra Christmas shopping, and I had the kids in the car because they were getting rambunctious. Ryan made the point, and I think wrestling fans in general, if they went into this with this point, would have enjoyed the moment for what it was. And it did not matter how that match ended. It was not going to be good enough.
Right.
Gunther goes out there and destroys him in 7 minutes. John didn't get any offense in. John wins. He's burying the new talent. Gunther wins via sleeper hold. It's why the hell is John losing to a standard wrestling hold?
So that's interesting. That's an interesting point. My counter to that, though, is I think, and maybe not even a counter, maybe more just a breakdown of that. I think the situation was more there was no way to please everybody. Like half of your audience was going to be upset at the end result of that match in one direction or the other. Either the quote unquote smart fans, the internet fans, the people, the IWC as it were going to be upset because John Cena won and Gunther lost and like, what does this do for us kind of thing. Or the fans were going to be upset because John Cena lost and Gunther won. Like you know what I'm saying? Like there was
Well,
the audience at large wanted to see a John Cena win, but the IWC kind of went into it understanding a little bit more. And God, this is why people hate us. But understanding a little bit more, like, hey, look, but Gunther's going to still be here on Monday night, and
I,
that's why he needs to win.
but here's the issue in that regard. To counterpoint it backwards. If it's an open challenge and not this stupid ass tournament, or if it's someone, Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, who could use a win against the greatest of all time to launch them into a main event picture. It's different than a guy who had the world title the same weekend that John won 17. You've already shown us that Gunther's the guy.
Right.
You've already put the title on him. You've already given him main event matches. You've already given him runs with the belt. You gave him the longest Intercontinental title run of all time, or of the
No,
modern era.
I get that, but I feel like that also then goes into the hindsight 2020. Is Brock Lesnar beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania the right call? I feel like
I
now
don't
that
compare
we're
those.
I don't know. I think it's comparable personally. And I'm just saying, like, I think that 10 years after the fact, I think we can all look at that and be like, Brock winning made sense. It was fine. It adds to his legacy, yada, yada. But in the moment, I think we were all like, Brock doesn't need this. Why Brock beat The Undertaker? Why didn't, some up and comer beat The Undertaker? Why didn't, trying to think of who was new at WrestleMania 31? I don't know. Daniel Bryan, he won the world title the year before. I don't know, somebody. There was I feel like in the moment there was
Bray
a
Wyatt
lot
the year
of
before.
yeah, exactly. In the
Him losing at
moment
play button.
there was a lot of wow, Brock didn't need this. And I feel like 10 years later, we're all kind of like, I'd add it to his legacy. We're like, it's fine. So I feel like that could be a thing also with this, like maybe in the moment it's like, okay, yeah, the guy who retired Goldberg and was world champion and all that and King of the Ring and all that didn't need to retire John Cena. But in 10 years, are we going to look back at it and be like, yeah, like this is why Gunther deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's the guy that retired John Cena.
I unfortunately I will never look at Gunther as the guy who retired John Cena.
Because John Cena retired
John Cena picked when John Cena was done. Just like I will never look at Matt and Nick Jackson as the people who retired Sting.
Oh,
Sting said, "I'm leaving." To me, in this regard, I don't necessarily, and it's not a Gunther thing for me. It's a compare Mark from Texas to John Cena. If Mark from Texas walked to Vince McMahon and said, I want Brock Lesnar to end my streak, because he's the only badass that you have that's believable to beat me, because he was a former UFC heavyweight champion of the world. And John's like, use this opportunity to put over someone that you're going to try to strap a rocket ship to for the next year and a half. If that's the case, that's why I think Braun Breaker, who has a title match, could have used it a little bit more. But Jim, I'll.
So, you said something, and I wish I could travel back in time to 3CT and hit this point. You said you will never look at Gunther as the guy who retired John Cena.
Correct.
Because John Cena said, I'm done at the end of 2025. December 13th, 2025 is my last match. It didn't matter if it was Gunther. It didn't matter if it was Chris Jericho. It didn't matter if it was Hornswoggle. It didn't matter if it was Santino Marella. John Cena's last match, his retirement match, was happening that day, no matter who was on the other side of the ring. However, Gunther is the guy that made John Cena tap out.
Correct.
And that is why, and I'm, not intentionally forwarding us along, but fast forwarding to the end result, that is why I am 1,000% okay with John Cena tapping out. Because if John Cena passes out, that match doesn't end on John Cena's terms. There's that's the beauty of the pass out finish, right? Is the guy never gave up. So like, if he loses his title because he passed out, well, I never gave up. I never truly lost. Or if I have a title shot and I pass out, well, you didn't beat me. My body just broke in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
John Cena hadn't given up in a match in over 20 years. He did that on Saturday. That's the part that makes it different. And now here's the thing. If 10 years from now, if WWE drops the ball with Gunther, that's on the WWE. But what they did on Saturday night in that moment is they told you, this guy is different. This guy is different than any opponent John Cena has had since Kurt Angle. This guy is different because he is the one, he's the Grim Reaper of sorts that's going to come to call him when somebody's near the end of the line. It's going to be Gunther. This is the guy now that, and we foreshadowing. Who did Gunther talk to on Monday? AJ Styles. Okay. Like, I can tell you who's probably going to be AJ Styles' WrestleMania opponent this year. So that's the part that makes it different. And for years, and at this point I did make on 3CT. For years, we've heard from people, WWE doesn't make big stars.
Mm-hmm.
WWE doesn't kind of rocket strap people anymore. And especially, this is the big one, WWE doesn't make heels. Gunther had to have security get him out of Capital One Arena on Saturday night. There's your heel. There's your guy that people are not going to cheer for, because Brock Lesnar's a heel, but he's going to get cheered in some buildings.
There isn't a building outside of Vienna, Austria, that guy will ever get cheered in again for the rest of his career.
Nope. At least not until they do a hard switch, which why would you?
It's interesting because I feel like, you had just mentioned Gunther possibly being like an AJ Styles opponent for WrestleMania. I don't think at all that's the direction that we're going in. I think you're going to get an AJ Styles Gunther match at some point in the next year, maybe even multiple. Maybe we get a whole feud. I would love that. I think Gunther's either defending the world title or winning the world title at WrestleMania. And I think he's in the ring across from Cody Rhodes in one direction or the other. Whether they get the belt onto him between now and the Rumble, and we maneuver some stuff around and Cody wins the Rumble, or whatever, or Cody's the champion and Gunther wins the Rumble. But I know I feel like the next big feud, the next like overarching story, it's probably Gunther versus Cody.
Tell that to every other wrestling podcast in the world because they think we're getting the third chapter of Roman versus Cody.
Well, yeah, but Dave Meltzer said, and there is the problem.
No, I don't think so personally. Like I know for a while it seemed like Roman and Seth was going to be a thing, and now Seth is injured. Probably won't be back for Mania, so I understand how that puts a monkey wrench in some things. But I don't think, and I think WWE will be smart enough to notice this. Let me put it like this: even if next year's WrestleMania was the one in Saudi, I think you're more likely to get Roman versus Cody. I think that's the kind of match that
Yeah.
audience especially will react to. I think because it's here in Las Vegas and because of the way they've been maneuvering things and building stories, I think it's Cody versus Gunther. I think Roman versus Punk is still a headlining main event match. If you want to do it 1-on-1, if Seth's not around, and you can't do Roman versus Seth. And Roman versus Punk has never happened, as far as I know, in a 1-on-1 setting. Certainly not since Roman became the god that he is. So like there's money there. So I'm not worried about Roman or what he's gonna do. Like there's plenty for him to do. I just feel like, and the thing that's getting me to point to this especially, and it's more something that we saw after the fact, after Saturday night's main event. It was kind of circulating online and stuff. It's that photo of Cody standing outside the ring. You might have even sent us one of these, actually.
Mhm.
Standing outside the ring, looking in at John Cena's gear, looking in at his fallen comrade. And there's a look on Cody's face that's like understanding. That's like, I can't explain it entirely, but it's like,
Oh, I
if
think
this was a movie,
this
you'd be like, oh man, so Gunther's about to be the bad guy in the next film, and
this
Cody's about to
movie
go after him.
already happened. It's Rocky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ivan Drago killed Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
Rocky Balboa is going to avenge his friend. And I don't disagree with that, but I think that's your SummerSlam match. Because I think Gunther has a little bit bigger of an equation to take out before Summerfest. And it's Brock Lesnar. And I think Cody retains the title at WrestleMania. And I do think that Rocky Balboa gets his revenge or attempts to get his revenge, and maybe he loses the first fight to Gunther, stands Ivan Drago. And then we get the training montages and all of that. And maybe leading into WrestleMania Saudi Arabia at Royal Rumble, maybe his old pal John Cena walks him to the ring.
Maybe
that's the Rocky Balboa moment for Cody Rhodes. Because at this point, that WrestleMania poster that we've talked about on this show, with the four big hitters sitting at the poker table with Paul Heyman, it just feels like those guys are going to be intertwined somehow. And to be fair, if Cody Rhodes is not going to be the one to take on Roman Reigns and it's going to be Roman versus CM Punk, give me a world where Cody Rhodes' WrestleMania opponent is a full heel Randy Orton.
yeah.
Student versus mentor. If you want to save the third chapter of Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I get it. Randy ain't got a lot of WrestleManias left in the tank either. Maybe that's a chapter that you go down and you use Brock, who, rumor has it, is contemplating SummerSlam 2026 to be his swan song.
Yep.
Why not give Gunther the ability to blow him up on the way out?
It sounds like if anything, it's going to be Gunther versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam then, because he wrestles people in their retirement matches.
Maybe that's where Brock Lesnar loses to Gunther and wants his revenge and loses to him a second time.
Maybe. Yeah.
I can't imagine Brock Lesnar taking 2 losses. Is that weird? When's the
I
last
could-
time Brock Lesnar took 2 losses in a row?
John Cena just took 2 losses in his final 2 matches.
And one of them was the Dominic Mysterio.
I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying Brock being the way that Brock seems to be, or the way he's booked at least, like, when's the last time he lost? Like, let alone, like, you know what I mean? Like, lost to the same guy twice.
I mean, he lost to Cody. He lost to Cody in that one where we saw him shake his hand after the match.
Right.
And we didn't see him for a long time.
So Backlash 2023, he lost to Cody Rhodes.
Right.
He then beat Cody Rhodes at Night of Champions via ref stoppage, and then lost to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam 2023. So he lost to the same guy twice in a 3-month span back in 2023.
But had a win against him in the middle of it.
Correct.
I didn't say that he couldn't beat Gunther in a match. He also lost. Well, that's really a DQ, so you can't really count that.
So let me ask you guys this question. If you could replace any match from the John Cena farewell tour and add a different match in that place, what would you change?
Well, now I got to go look at the whole John Cena retirement tour to figure out. Well, because I don't want to say something and then it be at a place where, like, I don't want to say, oh, Randy Orton, because they wrestled in St. Louis, which was Randy's home.
Right.
Like the match, like I don't want to say him dropping the Intercontinental title to Dominic Mysterio because he lost to Dom on his final pay-per-view match.
Here was 2025 in John Cena, the Royal Rumble where he didn't win.
Right.
Wins the Elimination Chamber, wins the title at WrestleMania over Cody Rhodes, retains the title against Randy Orton, defeats R-Truth at Saturday night's main event in Tampa. Cody and Jay defeat John Cena and Logan Paul at Money in the Bank. R-Truth defeats John Cena at Friday Night SmackDown in Grand Rapids. Cena defeats CM Punk to retain the title at Night of Champions. Loses to Cody at SummerSlam for the title. Cody and Cena defeat Drew and Logan Paul by DQ on a Friday Night SmackDown in Montreal. Defeats Logan Paul at Clash in Paris. No contest with Sami Zayn for the U.S. title Friday Night SmackDown in Rosemont. Lesnar defeats Cena at WrestlePalooza. Cena defeats AJ Styles at Crown Jewel. Beats Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental title in Boston. Cena, Mysterio, and Sheamus defeat the Judgment Day at Raw in Madison Square Garden. Loses to Dominic Mysterio at Survivor Series in San Diego, and then of course loses to Gunther at Saturday night's main event. I have my answer.
Yeah, I think I've got mine too.
Are we allowing injured people to be the replacement, or are we saying they have to be healthy?
They would have to have been healthy at the time.
Okay. Then I'll let you guys go first because I actually have to contemplate shuffling something.
Okay. Joe, go ahead.
Well, the match that I think I would take out for sure is that Money in the Bank tag match. Okay. It just feels like the sore thumb out there. And again, if that had been on Saturday Night's Main Event or on a Raw or something, I don't feel like I have a problem with it. I mean, there's a later tag match with Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre that's on a SmackDown that I don't have a problem with. It's the fact that that was on one of the pay-per-views, and like, I get it. There was a point where that match should have involved, a really famous rapper and not Logan Paul. So like, you're kind of cutting your losses, admitting that Travis Scott can't wrestle and doing what you got to do. You're moving
Or
on.
or just admitting that the guy wasn't going to show up because he's allegedly a piece of shit. But whatever.
Right, exactly. Like whatever the case is, you had to pivot. So I get it. But that tag match being part of this tour, at one of his last pay per view matches being that, is kind of disappointing. Um, Honestly, I think The Miz really deserved the match. I think The Miz really deserved the one on one match. And maybe not a pay per view. I don't think there'd have been a problem with putting it on a pay per view. I think if I was to reshuffle some stuff, I probably would have really liked to see Cena have his Punk match at Money in the Bank because of how synonymous they are with Money in the Bank and as a feud. I think that would have been the same way that, like, doing the last Randy Orton match in Orton's hometown feels very fitting. I feel like doing the last Cena Punk match at the pay per view that they kind of almost put on the map in terms of non-money in the bank matches, that would have been really awesome. So like, maybe like shift that over to there. And then in the place where you did the Punk match, maybe that's where you put like the Miz or somebody. But I do think it would have been fun to see the Miz get a shot, especially because, let's be real here too, right? How long does the Miz really have left? Like, I love the guy, and he's not like out there wrestling every week or anything. And look, he looks amazing for someone who's probably my age, if not like a little bit older.
He
Looks
just turned
absolutely,
45.
yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. If you had told me he was 35, I'd have been like, yeah, that tracks. But you can also tell that he's aged. Like, you can also look at his body and be like, oh, yep, okay, it's happening. So like, how long does the Miz really have left? I think to give him, like, that almost would have been more meaningful for him than for John Cena, but it would have meant a lot. I think, and a lot of fans, I think, it would have meant a lot
Well,
to us too.
so the problem is the Miz match would have taken place in Riyadh.
But they're up to watching 2012 WWE, so actually that's perfect. They'd have been the most excited.
See, I understand that, but I think CM Punk needed John Cena to have that match in Riyadh.
They would have been like, "Where's A-Rye?"
I genuinely believe that for someone who was as anti-Saudi Arabia as CM Punk was, CM Punk needed John Cena in that moment to be his dance partner there.
Yeah, that was a great twist in that story for sure. My answer, because the question wasn't rebook a match,
True,
the same opponent in the run. Because mine would be the same answer. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza.
okay.
It was an 8-minute. I get they were maybe trying to like pay tribute to the SummerSlam. John Cena gets yeeted across the ring 1,000 times. It felt, even in hindsight, it feels like a waste of a match on John Cena's fair. It's an 8-minute match of just kind of getting pummeled, and for kind of no good reason whatsoever. Like,
yeah.
Because then like Brock kind of like disappeared a little bit until it came around for War Games. Like, it was strange. So that one, I would go one of two ways. If Chris Jericho's in play for WWE, find a way to get him in early. That's a way to kick off your ESPN partnership. Have John do an open challenge. Find a way to get a damn Copeland on a loner spot, or if you can't make a handshake deal with the other side, that's your Miz match. Because I think I do agree that I think Miz should have had a spot somewhere on this tour.
Do you think if WWE actually wanted to make it happen, Adam Copeland could have happened?
I think they would have had
because for me, real quick, both sides are business people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Both sides have infinite money. You can find a way to make money work.
Yep.
Period.
Agreed.
All right. I'm removing from the Jingling Center in Tampa, Florida, a 4-minute match where John Cena defeated Ron Cena. And I'm going to go to someone who I think he still should have wrestled on the retirement tour that wasn't The Miz. We never got to see John Cena share the ring with the Tribal Chief.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's crazy.
And I know you're telling me, but Mike, it's Saturday night's main event. You're right. But it's in Tampa, close to where both of those guys reside. They worked out together. They trained together down at the Hard Knock South. Give me height of power Tribal Chief Roman Reigns versus John Cena in a match somewhere on this tour. I just chose the Yingling Center because it was a secondary match because him and Truth wrestled a month or so later on Friday Night SmackDown.
Right.
Maybe you say, okay, we move that Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul to that Saturday night's main event, and maybe Cena takes out Jey after the match, and maybe that brings Roman out, and Roman is the match at Money in the Bank, and then after the match is when R-Truth comes back, does the whole schmaz, and then John and Truth have their match at SmackDown or whatever a couple weeks later. But I watched the promo back on TikTok because it popped up on my For You page, where John literally in the promo looks Roman Reigns in the face and goes, "You're lucky I'm doing this part-time because I do this part-time better than you do full-time." From when they wrestled back in the early or the late 2019, like 2017, 2018. We never got acknowledge me versus you can't see me. So if there's a guy, and I know that Roman doesn't need the match, and maybe Cena doesn't need to lose or beat the Tribal Chief, but that's a match that I felt if there was somewhere that it could have happened, yeah, I feel like that would have been one. And I also feel like there was a match set up that got taken from us.
Okay.
I think Kevin Owens was supposed to be the match in Montreal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's why we got Cody and Cena versus Drew and Logan Paul.
Right.
Because
right.
it was an easy pivot. Because I do think that was either supposed to be Sammy or Kevin. And Sammy, he got a couple, like a month later on SmackDown.
Yeah. Kevin would have been very fitting if he wasn't injured.
In Montreal?
Yeah. I will say, so 3 things in terms of Roman versus Cody. One, I mean, not Roman versus Cena. One, I think we got a match between them in like 2021. Definitely during the.
Was he full Tribal Chief then?
He
at
was
that
full.
point?
Yeah, it was. It was
it was the Universal Title match at aforementioned Allegiant Stadium.
Oh, no way. That's crazy. But yeah, and they had a great match. And it's funny because, right, like I didn't even stop and think about it, but that is a match that was absolutely missing. Because, like, the only thing, though, is I wouldn't have wanted heel Cena versus Roman. I feel like it would have been more fun with good guy John Cena versus Tribal Chief, basically good guy at this point, Roman. Because, they could have just been like egging each other on for the crowd. Like the crowd would have eaten that up.
Maybe
at
that
some
would have made
point.
more sense for the ESPN launch at WrestlePalooza.
Yeah, that would have been, honestly, you market that the right way, that would have been gigantic, way more so than Brock versus Cena.
These fuckers are really about to go for 2.
I love the spirit of it. I needed that in Jigba touchdown for my one semifinal. So I'm happy
Jackson Smith in Jigba.
in Jigba, and I have in one semifinal I have in Jigba. In another semifinal, I have Stafford, Nakua, and Zach Charbonnet. So I'm doing well in both, by the way.
Pookie baby.
Dude, I have so my opponent that I'm playing in that league is estimated to get 88.5 points.
You already have 74.4.
I already have 88.78.
Close
I
enough.
have already exceeded what they are projected at.
So you have like 5 guys not playing?
He has one guy who's currently, I think, who's injured, but
Oh, okay.
we'll see if they.
So I guess rapid fire like the rest of the show. And then we can get more into Cena talk. Because I do want to talk about like the Obafemi Cody Rhodes match. Welcome to WWE proper Obafemi.
Yeah.
The amount of people who didn't know who he was when his music hit and saw that strut, they were like, strap the fucking rocket ship to that motherfucker.
The only thing, and I get it, but the only thing I don't like is after that promo on SmackDown.
Wow.
Fucking one. Wowza.
Get wrecked, nerds.
Wow.
Darnold's gonna Darnold.
The only thing about that match is I think they should have just pulled the trigger and had Oba get a win. Even if it had to be like Drew gets involved and distracts Cody so Oba hits his finisher, whatever. I think Oba should have gotten the win. That's my only gripe. It doesn't hurt him. He will be fine. The people now see him. He's a star already. But just Cody doesn't get hurt by taking a loss there. Just have him lose. That's my only gripe.
Yeah, I don't hate that either. In the moment, I was okay with it either way because they had the moment together where they kind of looked at each other and kind of cheers title belts, and I think Cody was like, "Yeah, I escaped without getting destroyed." So yeah, that was cool. A lot of people didn't know about Sol Ruka. That finishing maneuver, when she hit that in front of a live audience, the whole crowd was like, "Holy fuck!" So that was dope. And if you don't watch a lot of NXT and or TNA, you learned that Javon Evans and Leon Slater may or may not have moon boots.
Yes.
Because those dudes were flying all over the fucking place. AJ took a pretty nasty fall there on that phenomenal forearm that he attempted.
What a heads up, though, to realize he's okay and then turn it into a pin attempt.
Correct.
Like that's you can't teach that stuff.
No, not at all. And that's the stuff that you gotta think about, because like you said, you don't learn that. Like that's something that you gotta be there. You gotta be in that moment. You gotta have that feeling that you can go into that. So, all in all, I thought it was a good Saturday night's main event from top to bottom.
I was sports entertained.
Thoroughly sports entertained. I think I would have been thoroughly sports entertained if I didn't go to DC for it.
Yeah, I mean, we got home from the 3CT Christmas. We left Matt's. We got home because it did start to snow in PA, so we wanted to get home ahead of all of that nonsense. We got home for the last like 2 minutes of the Oba match, so we basically saw the whole show. Yeah, I was sports entertained. WWE did sports entertainment good that night, and yeah, I mean, I've seen thoughts about like could they have given the tag titles to have them lose them again? Like, I don't think you need a hot potato tag titles. You can make starts without winning.
I don't think it was actually for the titles. I think
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was. They did make it a tag title match.
Well, because the ref, I never saw the ref hold the belts up before the match started.
I think it was supposed to be.
I think that they may have ran a video package that said it was for the titles, but I don't know that it was ever for the belts because it says on Cage Match non-title tag team match.
Oh yeah, so does the wiki. So maybe like
Yeah, I didn't think it was a title match either, to be
okay.
honest.
There we go.
I mean, at that point, like I wouldn't have been opposed when AJ botched the forearm if it turned into a win for Leon and Javon Evans. It wouldn't have hurt. The Raw tag division is already booty.
Right.
I mean, we are getting the Usos back in it, but
Right.
Buns,
For now.
For now, yeah.
oh, they're going to win the titles. And then Jay's going to turn on Jimmy. But more on that in 2026.
Can't wait to see them wrestle at WrestleMania again.
Nah, it's the Summerfest night one.
The redemption tour.
Yeah. My thing, though, and I said this in the chat on 3CT when Tim was standing on his industrial size Arm & Hammer soapbox.
Yes.
About the smile and him coming to terms and tapping. For those of you that didn't see that, I also said before I got to the point about John Cena was that not all retirement matches can have your tag partner jump through a pane of glass and you leave with the AEW tag titles.
Sting's retirement match broke everybody's fucking brain.
It definitely broke wrestling fans' brains and not sports entertainment brains.
Especially people that are tend to lean more like AEW pilled.
Correct.
If John Cena goes out and stings his final match, people are going to be like, oh, big match John bringing out his golden shovel one last time. And that's a fact. So again, it goes back to the thing you said that Ryan said on 3CT. People are going to be mad no matter what.
But what I said was, and because you guys played the Cody, the soundbite from the What Do You Want to Talk About podcast, where John talked about the being at the end of life. And you have that person that is coming to the end of life, smiling, and they reach that point where the fight is over. And they know it is, and they want to look back on those moments and smile and be happy in those last moments. And what I said in there was on December 13th, the professional wrestler, the sports entertainer, John Cena died.
Right.
That character is dead. Jorts are gone. Hat is gone. Shirt is gone. The next time you see John Felix Anthony Cena, it's going to be in a suit. He may wear joggers if he's got to come out and hit someone with a 5-knuckle shuffle so he doesn't tear his dress pants.
Right.
But the jorts are done. That final moment where he looked out at the fans and he looked out at his family and the people that he dapped up before the match and smiled. That was him being okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was him knowing, like, I've done my job for the last 24 years. This place is better since I've been here. It's okay to let go. That was him letting go. And anyone that wants to sit here and go, but I don't like it, you don't have to. It was John's moment. It was John's closure in that moment to smile and know that he's leaving this place a hell of a lot better than what it was when he walked in the door 20 years ago. Who are we to judge how John Cena feels, the greatest of all time? Who are we to judge how he's supposed to go out on his last night? You think Triple H walked to the back after that was over and scolded John for smiling and tapping out? Even if he did, you know what John's going to tell him? Fire me for it.
Right, exactly. What are you going to do to me, man?
The guy went out the way he knows how. It was, to me, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful goodbye to this character that we're never going to see again. And you keep telling me, oh, but he gave up, and the whole mantra was never give up. He didn't give up. He was just content. He knew that he got. And he was content with knowing that that was the end of the road.
The way I look at it is the number of times that Gunther got him back in the sleeper is so critical to the way that this went down, because it wasn't sleeper one time, tap out, I'm out, I'm done. It was sleeper, John gets out, hit him with the finisher, back in, gets out, gets him up on the rope, leg drop off the top rope, ends up back in the sleeper. He ends up back in the sleeper 5 different times. At some point, no matter what he does to fight out, no matter how he escapes, no matter what he brings to the table, it's not enough. And there comes a point, and like, I know it's like, because I think it was like recently Stuart Scott's birthday or the anniversary of his passing, and I can't remember which, but I saw a clip of Rich Eisen delivering like the news on like NFL Network, and his thing was like, look, he didn't give up, he didn't lose the fight but to cancer, but like it was just that, like, he couldn't do any more. And when I look at like the way that this went down, is we knew John Cena, like we knew what the end was. The end was he was done December 13th, whether he won, whether he lost, whether he passed out, got pinned, tapped out. The result didn't matter. He was done. He didn't lose a loser leaves town match.
He didn't get Ric Flair at WrestleMania. I'm sorry, I love you.
Right. He lost a this is my last match ever match. So the ending was the same. He is done. And there came a point where the recognition of, no matter what I do, no matter how I fight, no matter how much I fight, this is my fate, to be in this hold and to not be able to ultimately get out of it. So I'm going to look at the people that I love. I'm going to look at the crowd that I love. And I'm going to look at the people who are watching me on that screen and give them one last, I'm okay. And this is okay. And I'm done. That's what that was. And it was perfect.
Joseph?
Yeah, no notes.
I think we tackled a bit of like the where does WWE go from here, especially with in relation to Gunther and stuff like that. The only other point I have on that, we don't have to make it a long one, is Michael Cole said in the aftermath of the match that pro wrestling destroyed sports entertainment tonight. And in the remainder of the broadcast, in the post match stuff, and on Raw on Monday, I heard the words wrestler and pro wrestling more on WWE TV than maybe we've ever heard before. Like, do we? I don't believe in like this new era stuff because Triple H has said it 162 times this year already. But like, do you think that there's a possibility that in some form or fashion, WWE they're not going to be non PG-13 anymore. They're not going to not have gimmicks or stories or any of that. But do you think that at least in some way WWE programming is going to change a little bit in light of pro wrestling destroyed sports entertainment?
No.
Okay.
And it's only because they're using pro wrestling to distinguish Gunther from the rest. Walter, goddamn. From the no, he is Gunther now, isn't he? I just
Yes.
had a moment. Anyway, good weed. Anyway,
So hit it again.
they they're using this to distinguish Gunther from the rest of the pack. This isn't, hey, wrestling won out. Now we have to take wrestling more seriously. Let's get the Creed brothers out here. Let's get, let's get I'm whatever the hell, whoever else people are. Let's get Chad Gable back, like all that. No, this is they are making it stand out. Gunther is a different creature in this land. He is not every other sports entertainer. He is the pro wrestler among the sports entertainers. And he's the one going out there saying, hey, wrestling wins when I'm the one wrestling. And that's his whole thing. That's what he's going out there. Even if you look at this last year, like he retired Goldberg. Nobody's more sports entertainment than Goldberg. Maybe John Cena is more sports entertainment than Goldberg. The point is, though, like he went out there, and the people that he retired in this last year were some of the pillars of quote unquote sports entertainment. This is all about Gunther. And for them to continue to make it special for Gunther, for them to continue to make it so that Gunther is able to use this 100% as a thing for himself is honestly 100%. Hold on one second.
He must have hit it while I told him to hit it because he's
No,
coughing.
sorry. But 100%, I feel like they would be taking away from Gunther if they made it like, okay, now we're gonna book more wrestling matches out of this. Now we're gonna book, 30-minute draws and like I said, like more Creed brothers and all that. Like that's missing the point of what they're going for here, in my mind.
Do I think we'll see more professional wrestling? Yes. Do I think we're going to see an entire changeover of what they're doing? No. I think you may see a world where Ludwig Kaiser and Chad Gable have a Grande Americano versus Grande Americano 20-minute wrestling classic. And you may see the Creed brothers, and you may see British Strong Style of Bate and Dunn having professional wrestling matches. I think you'll still have your over-the-top sports entertainment, but I think you're going to see a mix of things. Do I think it's going to be an every week thing? No. But if you have a elimination chamber where you got 2 chamber matches and you need a match that you put in between, you could give me a Creed Brothers versus the Motor City Machine Guns in a solid 15-minute chain wrestling match.
See, you say that, But you know who audiences have not given half a fuck about in the last 12 months?
The entire SmackDown tag division.
That's a bingo right there. And it hasn't been bad booking. It hasn't been that they're not getting the spotlight. It's been that the audience just doesn't give a fuck. That
Yeah.
those teams are just not connecting.
Well, here's the thing, guys. Who has the SmackDown tag titles?
I couldn't even tell you, to be perfectly honest.
The Wyatt Six.
Oh, okay.
Sports Entertainment. Let's go back to WrestleMania when there was a riot because the TLC match wasn't on the show. They cared about it back at WrestleMania. They haven't cared about it since the Sports Entertainment guys haven't been defending the titles because they've been busy going to Mexico, being involved in the AAA stuff.
Mm.
Guess what? SmackDown goes to 3 hours in January. You're going to get a chance to get those guys over. Just like, and I'm going to go on a little bit smaller of a tangent here. I'm going to look at Monday Night Raw. Maxine Dupree versus Ivy Nile for the Women's Intercontinental title match. All I heard when they built that title was, great, a title for the mid-card women to fight after. And then Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch had the title for however long. And the U.S. title was a Chelsea Green prop. So you go, okay, we're going to try this thing called Let's Get Maxine Dupree Over. And now all I hear is, man, they're really wasting the Women's Intercontinental title. It can't be both.
Right.
You told me use this title to get over the mid card. You're trying to get over someone. You had her beat Big Match Becky. You've had her do this stuff with Natty, the dungeon, all of that. She shows this more intense side, and all I saw on social media on Monday night / Tuesday morning was, man, they're really blowing this Intercontinental title. What the fuck are you talking about? They're doing exactly what you guys asked for.
Yeah.
But because it's Maxine Dupree and it's not Kiana James or, somebody from NXT like Sol Ruka or Zarya or Fallon Henley or somebody like that, now it's an issue? Because it's the girl who was part of the Alpha Academy. However, like, she's putting in the work. She's gotten a lot better in ring. I'm not saying she's Becky Lynch or anybody like that. She's gotten better, though. This is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be thoroughly sports entertained. We're supposed to have good wrestling matches. It's what they're doing. I mean, I do think that we're going to see a focus on better in-ring product. And it may not be more professional wrestling themed matches, but it might be cleaner matches, less spots that potentially lead to injuries and bumps that could lead to injuries and things along those lines. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, if they have a standardized wrestling match that doesn't include that coast to coast spot, who knows where the pivot is for the rest of the year? Because that may not happen that way because Seth doesn't get hurt. So that's. I do think there will be some change, but I don't think it'll be an over alarming switch off of things.
Yeah, it'll be curious to see what happens. I think that Gunther specifically, they're going to use that word wrestler.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't think the product changes too much.
I do have one other non-topic that I do want to get your guys' opinion on real quick.
Yeah.
So if we want to wrap up the Gunther, Cena, etc.
I probably got like 5 minutes left before.
Oh, this is gonna be solely rapid. This is gonna be solely rapid fire. So just be ready. The 2025 Sports Illustrated Wrestling Awards was released. Rapid fire. I'm gonna read off the winners, and I just want you guys to give a little sounder here, okay? Promotion of the year, All Elite Wrestling.
No.
I get it, but disagree.
Female Wrestler of the Year, Mercedes Moné. Why? Because she won 10 independent wrestling title belts that you can't even name.
Yeah, no. Out.
Yeah, again, I get it, but I disagree.
I mean, I would say Toni Storm was a better women's wrestler than her in 2025. I would say probably Becky Lynch was a better wrestler than her in 2025.
Lyra Valkyria had arguably a better year. She became a star in 2025.
Male Wrestler of the Year, Adam Hangman Page. This is the one where I can go, I can believe it. Because
Yeah.
his run to get the title, to then win the title at All In, I can argue that I don't disagree with this one.
Wait, male wrestler of the year, like overall?
Male Wrestler of the Year, Adam Hangman Page.
Not mad at it, but there's a lot of cases for a lot of different people.
Sure.
Honestly, I would have maybe given that one to John Cena. He was kind of the number one name in pro wrestling for the entire year.
Yeah, but he had a lot of poo-poo fart that people hate. That
I
WrestleMania
understand
match.
that. I do understand that, but I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, I just feel like if you're grading on like for the whole year, like I think you're a little bit like in my mind, part of my criteria would be just like who was the biggest deal this year, you know, and like it didn't get bigger than John Cena.
I don't disagree, but Adam Hangman Page's redemption arc was fairly large storyline in All Elite Wrestling in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm fine with it being Page. My brain would have also went to John Cena, but I'm fine. With it.
Tag Team of the Year, absolutely not FTR.
No, I don't know who it would have been.
Brodito greater than FTR.
Yeah, that was my favorite team this year.
I mean, them greater than FTR in 2025. And I'm not even going into the WWE stratosphere or CMLL or anything like that. Best in ring, William Cran Ocean Spray.
Wasn't he injured most of the year?
No, he was there through Revolution, which was probably July.
Oh.
Yeah. He got dinged up and then got taken out in that cage match against Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, that one I think I'm okay with.
I think I am too, because I don't know many better than him in ring.
The only other one I may argue, but it's not even necessarily an in ring for him, would be Dominic Mysterio. But yeah, I'm fine with
in ring. I think Konosuke Takeshita probably would have been.
That's fair as well.
Someone I argue. Best on the microphone, Timeless Toni Storm. She's the best at getting filthy puns in her jokes.
Yeah.
I think Dominic Mysterio had a better year on the microphone.
My God, you're a big bitch. The bigger they are, the harder they come.
Right. Like, I think Dom's great.
John Cena cut some pretty good promos.
Cena's still good. CM Punk's still good.
I'm sorry, that CM Punk's fucking on Monday, that promo, all in.
Yeah.
Breakout Wrestler of the Year, Kyle Fletcher.
Fair.
Dominic Mysterio.
Dom's the only other one I can think of. Lyra Valkyria.
Yep, I think that's
the
three.
I don't think Fletcher's the wrong answer.
No, I don't either. If you told me Kyle Fletcher, I don't hate it. Storyline of the year was Hangman Page's redemption arc.
John Cena's retirement tour would like a word, but
yeah,
I don't hate Page's redemption.
Rivalry of the year, Adam Hangman Page versus John Moxley.
I don't even know that was the best rivalry of the month that it happened.
I mean, it was a pretty good rivalry. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
As someone who is almost, I'm not gonna say anti AEW, but as someone who is
Yeah,
It's
because
pretty good.
I feel like there wasn't, because like I mean, I'm thinking of WWE, like there wasn't one constant rivalry. I mean, Punk Rollins always had an undertone. Becky and Lyra, but I don't think either of those was better than Paige Mox. Everything else,
Darby Allen versus John Moxley would like a word with Hangman Page for a second.
yeah. But when you spend the first half of your year in the fucking mountains, this I think that's the right answer, because everything else, like Mercedes belt collector and Tony versus the world and John Cena's retirement, those are stories. Those aren't individual feuds.
Correct. And last but certainly not least, show of the year, AEW Double or Nothing 2025.
I didn't see it.
SummerSlam 2025 would like to have a word with you.
Yeah, SummerSlam was really good. Really good.
What's the reoccurring theme here, guys?
AEW.
Every award winner that I mentioned in that fucking thing was an All Elite Wrestling award.
I know, like Cena won
no
like the
shit.
Legacy Award, right?
All I went was the Tony Khan tweet that had all of the awards that AEW won.
Let me see here. So I saw a match of the year. They had Rhea versus Bianca versus Io at WrestleMania. And the heel turn of the year was Naomi.
The John Cena heel turn may want to have a conversation.
Yeah, the actual moment itself, but I feel like the post turn execution of it probably hurt it compared to Naomi.
Correct.
The 2025 Legacy Award went to John Cena. So WWE won 3 awards.
Comeback Performer of the Year, Ilya Dragunov. Guy's been back for 3 months at most.
Right. I get he won the U.S. title and whatever, but yeah, that.
I would say fucking Mark Briscoe had a better comeback fucking from wherever he was at than fucking
that is true.
Ilya Dragunuts. My problem here is when you open up awards to fan voting,
they're meaningless.
Correct. And that's my issue. Because I'm pretty sure this was voted on by fans as well as the SI article, whatever.
Yeah.
Just if you like AEW, like AEW. If you like WWE, like WWE. Like, stop doing these stupid fucking awards, because all this is doing is pitting wrestling fans against wrestling fans. My color red is better than your color red.
It's cool to love AEW and hate WWE again. It'll flip in a year or two again. Like, this is what we're gonna get now. That AEW was the cool new kid, WWE was the old guy, get off my lawn, and then Vince got booted and Triple H took over. So then Triple H was the cool guy who was going to change the world, and AEW was tired. Now they're just we're back in that world again. We're back in that world again. So this is what it's going to be for a while.
I don't disagree. Wrestlers of the week.
I assume this, Joe, you will exit stage right.
Let me take Gunther first because that's an easy one.
There you go.
How about it, bud?
Very easy. For me, I will take in what was probably the most surprising one, your new women's North American champion in NXT, Thea Hale.
Oh yeah, we didn't really talk about that.
Yeah.
Oopsies.
I mean, here's the deal. Tim and I were talking a little bit about it before 3CT started. Shout out to whoever that referee was, because the referee did his job. He counted to 3 because there wasn't a kick out.
Correct.
Referee did his part. Now it's up to the writers to do theirs. So rumor is this was, and by all accounts, it appears to be, looks like Blake got the wind knocked out of her. Her arms were on her chest. Couldn't get the kick out. There's a 3 count. There's a title change. Guess what? Must see TV on NXT next week.
2 weeks because they did the taping.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, next time they have a live show, must see TV.
I mean, they'll probably have a match at New Year's Evil, so that's probably the the first time you'll have another live show. So
Yeah.
I would
So,
say that's a must-watch event.
yeah, there you go. Go get it.
I'm going to take Sol Ruka. Excellent performance at the John Cena retirement show. Got anybody else there, Joseph?
Yeah, give me AJ Lee, the tag team version.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was like, what did she do?
AJ Styles Lee.
Last one for me, I actually thought this was a really fun match. The women's intercontinental title, Maxine versus Ivy. Maxine's getting a lot better. Like she's look, nobody's gonna confuse her for Bailey or Charlotte Flair, but she's putting in the work, man. Credit to her.
I guess I will. I will say thank you to you both because I will finally take the low-hanging fruit for the final time as an in-ring performer. The Take 3 Wrestling Podcast will put Big Match John on the Wrestler of the Week podium. I kept November and December together because we had a very abbreviated schedule.
Yeah.
I will send that to you guys if you guys can send that to me, and then I will determine the bracket because I want to do the bracket style again this year because I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
To go over like we did last year. I'm not gonna say this, but I feel like the gentleman who's saluting us on the screen, if you're watching at home, may be the Vegas betting line favorite to win that award.
Perhaps.
Joe, do you have anything else before you Irish exit?
No, I'm good. Joe Movie Podcast over on Spotify because it's about to be award season, and there's like a whole lot of stuff going on with movies right now. You know, Netflix is out there buying Warner Brothers and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Rob Reiner. That's sad.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah, so no, it's yeah, a whole lot of stuff. And now John Cena's got more time to make movies. So if you want to hear about John Cena, obviously you have to come to the Joe Movie Podcast.
There you go. Well, Merry Chrysler, Joe.
Yes, you as well, and a happy Hanukkah.
Yes.
I would say let's just let's leave Big Match John up there as we wrap this thing up, Jim.
Oh yeah. He's not going anywhere for the rest of the show. Yeah, follow me at Big Jim Sports, Blue Sky Twitter. Hit the link tree there. 3CT. We had our final live show as well of 2025 this week. Got a little hot and heavy talking about the John Cena stuff. And gave some final thoughts on 2025 in pro wrestling. We have a Tuesday show coming up this week. We do have content that'll hit the podcast feeds on Christmas Day and the Tuesday after. We'll be back live on January 1st. So close out your year with us. Also, Huddle Up Podcast. We are in the home stretch. We previewed the College Football Invitational this week. Round 1 games. Also, we do have we looked at the NFL previewed some games. A little quicker in and out shows. It's a little over an hour for my brother and I. Not a ton to dive into this week. But check us out and subscribe and everything on all the feeds. So appreciate it. Always love the listeners and support and everything you guys do for us. So love you guys.
Yeah, like Jim said, check out the Huddle Up stuff. 5 burning questions will be my preview of the CPI, the College Football Invitational. CFI, right? College football, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll preview probably the 4 games, and then I'll have an NFL topic as well as the bet of the week. I've thought about how I wanted to close this show for about the last 3 days, and all I can simply say, because by the time we come back and join you guys, it'll be 2026. So what I say is 2025 has been an up and down year for myself as well as professional wrestling. I lost the WrestleMania streak to a job who stole a lot of happiness from me, which kind of sucked. But it made what happened on Saturday night all that more meaningful. I've got to share the show with two of my best friends in the entire world. I'm planning a trip, hopefully to watch WrestleMania with the Philadelphia or the Pennsylvania boys. I got to take a psycho trip for Jim's birthday.
Sure did.
So, this week, while you enjoy your family and your friends, take that moment to take that step back and love every minute that you have of it, because like John Cena's career, you never know when time is going to come up. So for 2025, our time is up. We say thank you. We say we love you. We will see you in 2026 for another trip around the world of professional wrestling. For Joe, for Jim, I'm Mike. We love you. Good night.